Welcome to Nightblog. Greetings, fellow stargazers, and welcome to another episode of the Nightblog.
Yes, tonight we are going to talk about the amazing music behind the amazing games that we love.
Indeed.
Now, there are lots of ways to experience music in video games nowadays where there were some ways in mods we would just go and change like the music that was in the asset files. You know, we just make it whatever we wanted to. Or on PlayStation, like you could actually take the disc and it was just an audio disc.
Really?
I mean, burnt into it. Yeah, like my favorite one was Twisted Metal 3 that I just took from my PlayStation. I put it in my car and it just played the entire soundtrack.
Yep. I remember there were some computer games I could do that with. I think I had Dark Forces 2. It had random tracks from Star Wars on it. But
that's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But now, even on PS4, they let you use Spotify, and you can stream just instead of your game audio if you want to. And even on 360, they had like built-in like 20 songs, and it would take over the video game soundtrack layer.
Built-in songs? Shows you how much I know. I didn't know they had built-in songs. Was it like GarageBand stuff? Or?
You know, it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
It was like bands that Microsoft like made a deal with. They were like, you want to be semi-popular? People might find your music on an Xbox, you know? Because like you'd bring up, you remember the old Blade, how you'd hit it and it would like zoom in from like the left, and they would take up the entire screen?
Yes.
I just hit the play button one day and it had like a library of music. And it wasn't that bad. But then again, the only game I had was Chrome Hounds, and that didn't work, so I needed something to do, you know?
Fun fact.
Yeah. So, I wanted to go through our top 5 list.
Okay.
And see what our favorite ones are.
Well, I got my top 5.
Okay.
Let me grab it.
Where is it?
Where is it? It's right here on my handy-dandy iPad. We are not sponsored by Apple, unfortunately.
Apple. We'd like to be. All right, so you're going to go first then.
So I'll go first. You want to alternate? You want
Yeah.
Five?
Why don't we start with 5?
All right, I'll start with my number 5.
Okay.
And this is kind of absurd, maybe, but it's Tetris.
That's not absurd.
I like that song. I know it's on the loop. It's just one song. It's not like there's a whole thing for it. But
yeah.
Da 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 da. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's kind of stressful.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And I actually have an orchestrated cover of it. I think done by the London Symphonic Orchestra, and it's inspired me. You know, I think some studio is talking about doing a movie based off Tetris. And
like the Russian creators, or
I don't know. Like it involves aliens, just like the Battleship.
Great.
Did for some reason.
No, that's perfect.
But I want to make the movie. I know how it should be. I know how to make a live action Tetris movie. My pitch doesn't involve aliens at all.
Professional movers?
No, you make it a little drama.
Okay.
Make it a little drama. You have this kid who's first generation immigrant or first generation American from an immigrant family, distinct Eastern European
doesn't know where he
family.
fits?
No, like you just don't tell where the family is, and he's just obsessed with the game Tetris on his Game Boy because his life isn't in shambles. But being first generation American, he doesn't really fit in anywhere. Like his family, be like the old country, and the American kids are like, why do you smell weird and talk weird? So he doesn't have to fit in anywhere, and his family wants him to be one way, and American kids want to be another way. But he likes Tetris because everything fits in a place. And,
well, you know what? That's Sundance gold.
So yeah, I think. Listen, producers, you watch this. Tetris movie.
Starring Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell as an 8-year-old child.
Okay, my number 5. So this was a random game. I think my grandpa bought it for me. We used to go to Kmart all the time. And he'd be like,
Kmart?
Kmart?
What's a Kmart?
Do you mean Walmart?
Do you mean Hills?
Sure. Hills. We went to
Kmart.
Hills, Kmart, and my grandpa would be like, hey, what do you want? Because that was his laugh, and it was amazing. Wow. And so one day we picked up this game. It was called Power Quest. And it was these kids in the town, and some adults. Some Japanese stuff gets pretty weird. And so they had fighting robots, and they were very serious about it. And you would just walk up to someone, and they would be like, I want to fight your robot. And you had to oblige. It wasn't like, I'd like to fight. And you'd be like, no. It was literally like, okay, put it down, And so you had different skills. Like there were fast guys, or there was one that was really big, and he was powerful. The music was amazing.
Really?
It was really fast-paced, and some of it was it would do these random jumps to minor, and there's really cool uses of reverb and delay on very simple bit controllers. I loved it, and it got to the point where it was so good that I would just plug in my headphones to the Game Boy and just put on the sound listener and just put it in my pocket. It was like my first MP3 player. I would just listen to the Power Quest sound test and just pop it in my pocket and just listen to all the music.
Now we talk about the original big honking Game Boy or the Game Boy Pocket?
Well, it was Game Boy, but I played it on Game Boy Color, and you remember how like when you went to Game Boy Color, they were like, now they're in color, and what it really did was just like fill in anything inside lines with random colors.
Kind of like the Super Game Boy and the
yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's colors, yes, it's not in color, but
there were games that were made for it, but
yes.
But
that one, one that came from Game Boy into Game Boy Color, But I used it on my original Game Boy and just
right there in the pocket. It's
a
big thing. It looked like a defibrillator.
Yeah. That was my number 5.
Yeah, my number 4.
Okay.
It's actually a game series I'm not too into.
Okay.
I played it a little bit. I've actually never really played the first 2. I've never played any of Beyond.
Okay.
Halo.
Ooh, Martin O'Donnell.
Yes. I think the Halo 3 soundtrack, one of my friends gave to me in college, and I would listen to that on my walks to class and whatnot. Just the epic score. It was adventurous, high energy, but then it slowed down. For times you need to just take in the grandeur.
He was the king of like massive like tribal drum pulsing music that went cinematic and then really like sci-fi space
atmospheric.
Ambient, very atmospheric. The theme, the main theme. Who was the guitar player that played on that? He's famous. Guitar people know who he
Slash.
is. Sure, it was Slash or a Slash-like person. Our band covered like that in one of our concerts, and we had a keyboard player that was so good. Like halfway through, everyone just stopped and we're just watching because he's doing that running string part. And we're just so Halo, great soundtrack. I absolutely agree with that. But you don't love the game?
I mean, it's not that I just haven't played it much. I've only ever played the first 2. It's not that I don't love it. I just haven't exposed myself too much to it. Because by the time I got an Xbox 360, like Halo 3 was already beyond. I don't have an Xbox One.
Well, my number 4 was Diddy Kong Racing. Did you ever play that on 64?
We would play it when we were kids.
Yeah.
Go over to your house.
And it's Diddy Kong Racing. Just talk about the game for a second. Was really the only version of like a kart racer that was also an adventure game. Like the campaign actually had this open world you'd have to explore and then do races as part of it. It wasn't just like race. You actually had to go through and find things, and there were secrets and Easter eggs and things like that.
I think I've only ever played the multiplayer with you.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've ever played the single player.
Oh, it's great if you ever get a chance. But anyways, the music, everyone like had their own theme and a twist on the main one, and it was very similar to like Banjo-Kazooie, stuff like that, and I love that music too. Grant Kirkhope, he did that. He's doing ukulele as well. And that kind of music, like that kind of whimsical, using just like marimbas and stuff like that, and it was really good. But then each boss like had unique boss music, and it was really tense because the races were tough, and so this music would just be replaying, and you'd have to do it over and over. And so by the time you got like to your 10th try, the music you were like, shut up, but at the same time, it fueled you,
Yeah.
So Diddy Kong Racing would be my number 4.
Okay, my number 3.
Mm-hmm. 3.
Sam and Max Hit the Road.
Oh,
I love
such a good game.
I love the LucasArts adventures because when I was a kid, I was terrible at games. I was awful. And in this LucasArts adventure games, you couldn't die.
Right.
You could just get stuck.
Yes.
And I started playing them about the time of the internet, so I could at least start looking up stuff on how to get unstuck.
Right, yeah.
But Sam and Max,
FAQs.
Yeah. Sam and Max, I just loved it because it was funny, and the music with it just adds to it. It's kind of got this like jazzy noir feel to go with the
private investigator feel
that they had, but then it was also kind of like lighthearted. Mm-hmm. I can still like hear the background music for when you're in your office at the beginning of the game.
That's actually what I was thinking of in my head just now. Is that type of like noir is the perfect explanation of what that sounds like, because that's what I hear in my head. Very laid back. Kind of like a barroom jazz, type of thing.
Music.
Yeah, lounge music,
big band
perfect.
Jazz, but kind of subdued,
Elevator/Weather Channel music.
For those of you that remember the Weather Channel.
Now here's your 5-day forecast. My number 3
Rain.
is Mass Effect 3. Now, all of the Mass Effects had great, they all had great music, but some of them, 1 and 2, like a lot of it was kind of ambiguous. Like it was just kind of the sci-fi pulsing synth, holdout kind of pads. And then 3 did this combination of just orchestral and the ambient like sci-fi music with a lot of synth lay-in, and then huge cinematic, and then really chill, and then...
I like the piano theme that they have.
Yes, the piano theme is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And Mass Effect 3 is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. It's one of the ones that I go to like just to chill out and listen to, even though there's some of it that like gets tense and But the majority of it is really easy listening, I would say, as far as like electronic goes. But yeah, so that's my number 3.
And my number 2. Now this is tough for me. My number 2 and number 1, very, very tough.
Interchangeable, almost.
Almost interchangeable. Both are the same composer. Number 2 for me is pretty much any Legend of Zelda music.
Which one?
Pretty much all of them. I mean, I had that Zelda Orchestra CD that came with Skyward Sword.
Oh,
and the minute I got Skyward Sword on launch day, and it went into my car, CD, and didn't leave my car. I had a 2002 Escape. So this was 2011 that this game came out. My Escape died this summer, and that's when it came out of the car.
It took your car dying, literally, for you to stop listening.
I mean, I did take it out and I put it on my iTunes. I could put it on my iPod, iPhone, and whatnot, but it immediately went back in the car and it stayed there.
That CD was so good. I ended up listening to it and ripping it on like multiple computers and putting it in different CD players. Like 4 tracks don't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like the laser just eventually just burnt through it.
It's translucent now, it's clear. So, but yeah, I just love the Legend of Zelda music. It just immediately puts you right into it. And even though I believe Ocarina of Time doesn't even really have a Legend of Zelda theme in it. I think maybe in interludes here or there, but it's not like the overworld doesn't have the traditional theme.
Yeah, mainly the lullaby, plays in the intro, and
But even though it's still all very iconic music, I love it. I remember first seeing Ocarina of Time. I never was into Zelda until that game. I saw it at my cousin's house playing it on Christmas when it came out. I'm like, what is this? He goes, that's Zelda. Yeah, I'm in now.
Well, that's like everything you did in that game had like a catchy jingle. Yeah, it was like any song you played to go somewhere, any race you went into their town, like they had something that was overly just catchy, you couldn't get it out of your head. Yeah. And there was a Soraya song, when you're in the Lost Woods. Yeah. It's genius use of music where you had to almost like follow where it was going. Yeah. But my girlfriend at the time, we broke up, got married, her ringtone for her father was Soraya's song. And so it'd come on and we'd just be like, and then we'd forget to answer the phone. And we'd be like, oh yeah.
Did you get married to each other then? Or did other people you broke
up? Oh,
to
each other, yeah. Okay. But, we couldn't stay boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, yeah,
it doesn't work
of course
that way.
Not. No.
So, we'd listen to that, and it was back when we had beat tones, just beat tones. You could even program on your Nokia just to do, like, the dial tones into, like, like mine was the easiest one to make. You remember the song, Yeah? Doot-deep, doot-deep.
Oh, yeah.
Doot-deep, doot-deep. I was like, I made a ringtone. That's sad, but...
That's the early aughts, children.
Yeah. Hey,
the early 2000s.
And now I use Reason. Okay, that's a great choice. Yes. My number 2, Final Fantasy X. Now, really the whole entire Final Fantasy series is iconic, because if you think about it, as they go, they use the same bass music. They just elaborate. They get more orchestral. They get bigger with it. They do more things in the background with it. They go longer or turn them into themes. But Final Fantasy X, for me, was the first time that, like, it really, like, inspired me. Like, I'd hear it, and the orchestra and the score and the battle music and the victory song and the little interludes and everything in there. Like, I remember cutscenes and just... It had a movie-style feel to me of, like, the first time a video game was like, oh, that's right here,
I've never played a Final Fantasy game.
None?
No.
Well,
but I don't
this was Nightblog, ladies and gentlemen.
I've heard some of the music, though.
Yeah.
I've heard the music.
And it's good. Even though you'd hear it and you'd be like, oh, Final Fantasy,
like,
it's that good.
Music.
Yeah.
I didn't know because I never exposed myself.
Right.
But
okay.
It took somebody telling me.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
We can move on.
Thank you.
But I will hold it against you in further conversation.
Understandable. I mean, it's what my wife does.
What's your number 1?
My number 1.
Play Final Fantasy.
I will.
Okay.
It's Final Fantasy. No. My number 1 favorite video game music. It's a mystery to me. Super Mario is my number 1. I know it's cliche. I mean, but Super Mario's
everywhere. It's like there's like the whole encompassing Super Mario.
The whole, not just World 1-1, not just from Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
I think just about every Super Mario game has fantastic music. I mean, New Super Mario Brothers. I mean, it's the same music for each one of those games.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still catchy. You know, you like that you have the little the enemies dance to certain parts of it. And
it's almost getting more and more silly as we go.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just wonderful music, and I believe Koji Kondo, right, has composed all of them. And he also composed The Legend of Zelda. And he also... Did he do Metroid?
I don't know.
I think... I'll have to look that up again. I thought I looked it up earlier. I can't remember. But, he's pretty much... He's John Williams of video games.
Right.
He made all these iconic themes. And Mario, each game just has wonderfully iconic themes. That's kind of what drives me with music, is an iconic theme. I still get the original Super Mario Brothers overworld theme from the first game stuck in my head. In fact, that's the only song I know how to play on the guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar. I just know how to play that song on the guitar.
Oh, I mean, everybody in college knows how to play Dave Matthews, but they don't actually play guitar. Like, you learn what works for you. Like, when I played the piano, I guess you would say. I just played Legend of Zelda songs because the ocarina was 3 notes, you know?
Yeah.
Do-do-dee, 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 you know? And I was like, oh, that's easy. I can do that. I can't play the piano, but I can play the majority of ocarina songs, you know? But Mario especially, like, Galaxy is so iconic to me that, like, the immense orchestration and the beautiful attention to, I don't know, the grandeur of the actual outer space and the planets and everything. Galaxy really was just so inspirational to me, you know, as far as just an overall soundtrack and score.
And just what they could accomplish with the limited resources of the original
Nintendo. Right. Oh,
and
yes.
And you could make an orchestral arrangement, and it sounds wonderful, and you can immediately say, that's Mario.
Yeah, no, and it's the exact, like, it's not like they're adding anything to it.
No,
but
filling it out.
My favorite thing is how well they did with making that music work and also using layers of sound effects, where if you go back and listen now, you can hear, like, the bass cut out or something when things are happening.
Yeah.
But it's genius of the programmers to understand how to use those layers in different ways, you know.
There's actually a really interesting video. I'll put a link in the description of how sound chips work for the NES and old video game systems. It's really cool. I forget the guy's name, but I'll put a link down in the description.
Is that where it is?
Somewhere.
My number one is, well, we already went over it, but it's The Legend of Zelda. And I would say it's Ocarina of Time. Like, just naturally, because that was very at a point of my time as a gamer where it was like, those games were the most iconic. You know, we have those years where it's like, you will remember those. They'll be your favorite, you know, for the rest of your time. Like, they forge you as a gamer through fire. Yeah. Ocarina of Time was the one that, to me, like, as far as music went, like, it made me sit down at the piano and figure out songs. Like, that's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Obviously, you go listen to Skyward Sword, and it's just an even more beautiful interpretation of it. But for the time, you know, on N64, like, it doesn't get any better than Ocarina of Time for me.
That game was centered completely around the idea of music.
Yes, it was,
so, I mean, they did a wonderful job with it.
Which Nintendo is always very creative about, that the actual idea of it, you know, centered around this idea of music and songs and how it brings things together or separates them apart. Just Nintendo.
Good music. It's story time.
I'm going to let you start tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Keebz.
Tell us where we are.
All right. Well, once upon a time, in the land... I just realized there's nothing on that card.
In the land of settings.
In the land of settings. In the land of communist Russia, Stalingrad.
Oh, gosh.
This
can only go well.
Was nothing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely nothing. Everyone had nothing. It was equal. Completely.
That's not bad.
No.
Well, the Prince of Aberdonton...
He lived there. And he was a prince of nothing.
Absolutely. They called him Prince because he wanted to be like the man formerly known as Prince.
He was a huge fan.
Yeah.
Of I think he is known as Prince now.
He is?
Again.
So he's not just...
No.
Okay.
So he's Prince.
Okay. So, but this is the Prince.
The Prince.
Of Aberdonton.
Also known as Prince.
Who lives in communist Russia, Stalingrad. Just Prince of nothing.
Yeah.
But by name, he's very powerful.
Indeed. And, unfortunately, there was an inept businessman who had really hosed him on a record deal that he was going to start as part of the a Prince tribute band.
Oh.
But that's not all. That's not all that was happening.
Well, what else was happening?
Well,
I think there might have been an issue with this inept businessman because he bought a wristwatch from the devil.
And that's why he was inept. And that's why this record deal was going totally south.
And you know what, though? I think that this wristwatch, it kept such terribly evil time that there was nothing in Stalingrad that could get him back on track. And so what he did, he would say, oh, Prince, the Prince of Aberdonton, not Prince, that's copyrighted. We want to make you a record to just shatter the communist Russia's Stalingrad area. They love nothing. You are nothing. Let's give them something.
But then, unfortunately, Abraham Lincoln is resurrected from the dead to be backup singer. And he is awful.
He's a backup singer.
The dude can't sing. He can't sing at all. It's awful. And so everything's just going horribly wrong because it is communist Russia and Stalingrad.
Sure.
But thankfully...
Bill Clinton joins SNL as the lead saxophone player.
And you know what? It saves the record deal because then Bill Clinton's like, hey, you can join my band and play on SNL.
Well, good night.
Episode 11, shot 2B, take 1.
Who you are?
I had to call my people.
Please sing us the song of your people.
What was that? That was impressive.
It was unexpectedly forceful, and so all I thought was to do vowels. Oh, I apologize.
No, that's cool.
That is your intro, by the way.
That's our bumper right there.